What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast, because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host, as always. My name is Jimmy, and as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to all the students from By the Hood University, as well as the youth from the By the Hood Ownership Camp. And if you support anything that we do, we appreciate everyone. I mean, the love is overwhelming, so got to show love back. With that being said, man, I got my partner in crime, Corey. Corey, what's up, good brother?
Well, it is, though. Every day above ground's a good day, so let's go get it.
Yeah, man. Listen, so this is an actual special episode, right? So, we got a bunch of interviews that we're editing it up now, but I was talking to Corey about coming on just to do a quick episode this week. So this is not going to be our normal episode. In this specific episode, we want to talk about an event that we just recently came back from. We've been traveling, so I want to make sure I put this short episode out. We want to talk about the Black Blockchain Summit that we were, privileged enough to be a part of, and just give a little bit of feedback about that, man, because I think it's important to talk about events such as this, to talk about spaces that are created specifically for us, and how to utilize those spaces and the power in those spaces, and some of our takeaways and feedback from being in a space such as that. We'll probably go back to our normal interview style next week for the podcast, but just a quick short podcast to talk about that, because again, our objective is to provide value. We generally highlight brothers and sisters doing work in the community, but we had a whole room full of brothers and sisters doing work in the community. And some of those, and because of those connections, some of those will be future guests on our podcast. But we want to do an overarching kind of review of the Black Blockchain Summit. Before we get into that, though, I do want to say a couple things while we have you here, our podcast audience. Make sure if you or anyone you know is looking to get started in investing, our website, buythehood.com. If you go to buythehood.com, we have a free webinar on there. So I don't talk about that often when we on our podcast, but I want to make sure that I put it out there. BUYTHEHOOD is buythehood.com. So you go there and you'll get a free webinar. It's completely free. And you also get some information. Just check out our website. You know what I'm saying? It'll give us information about everything that we got going on. Matter of fact, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. Is buythehood.com, right? Also, while we have you here, we have a membership group. Now, I know a lot of folks know about this, but some of you podcast listeners may not, which is called the MDC Strategy Group. MDC, like Michael David Charles, but MDC stands for $1 Million Challenge. But we have our MDC group, which is our private mastermind group, where we cover everything. Anything involving finance, we deal with it. We have a lively Discord that we're in every day. To get information about that, go to mdcstrategy.com. So just want to make sure I express those things. And if you're watching the video, it's at the bottom of the screen. Our private group is phenomenal, man. So it's By the Hood in conjunction with some other brothers who are doing amazing work in finance, who've all been on the show before. But, we all decided to come together to collaborate and create a community where we just provide value. So that's mdcstrategy.com. But now let's talk about this, Core. Let's talk about this Black Blockchain Summit, man. I'm going to try to, before letting you speak, just talk about. So we had academics, we had government officials at the highest levels of government. I mean, Senator Cory Booker was there on one of the days. The Winklevoss twins were there. They spoke at the event. I think they live streamed in, but Senator Cory Booker was there. A lot of anybody who's Black and in the Bitcoin crypto space was in the building. But sharing energy, giving ideas, sharing ideas, giving their perspective on both Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So in terms of your experience there, what would you say is, someone that you were excited to meet and hear their story?
It was only one person I was there to meet. I was there to read Reggie Middleton. So he was, for those of y'all who don't know who Reggie Middleton is, he is has patents for a lot of things that are crypto and blockchain. Mm-hmm. And his story was absolutely amazing. And to hear that story up close and personal, to me, was the highlight of everything that I saw. We met the creator of Guapcoin. That was an interesting story. That was extremely interesting. She's a firebrand. She gets busy. I didn't necessarily agree with everything that she had to say, but I didn't disagree with her premise for why she was saying the things that she was saying. She wasn't completely wrong. I just didn't agree with the route she took to get there.
You said something real interesting right there, bro, and I just want to slow it down. I just want to make sure I highlight what you just said, which is you said I didn't agree with everything she said. I think that is one of the more powerful things about this summit. And this is an annual summit. This was the 5th year. So next year, make sure if you're listening to this that you pull up. It takes place on Howard University campus. Sinclair Skinner is the creator of this. And also shout out to Deidre McIntyre, who I'm actually in her Facebook group, which was funny. I had a chance to meet her, and I've been in her Facebook group for years. But I think one of the most important things about this, and I'm only stopping you now because you just said it, is there were even people who opposed crypto and the idea of Bitcoin blockchain who spoke on panels and gave their perspective. But the one thing we all agreed on collectively is moving us forward as a culture and a people, which kind of like superseded our specific ideas, right? So it's okay to disagree as long as our overarching thing is we want what's best for our people, right? So I think that was important to say that we can be in spaces and not have to completely agree all the time.
No, that was one of the things that I was going to bring up. That there were people there who were very adamant, staunchly adamant that a lot of the stuff that we were talking about was bull. And I mean, that's their opinion. You know what I mean? And they think crypto as a whole has no value to the Black community. And I think those people were absolutely out of their mind. But I was glad to hear like they did the research, they had reasoning. I think their research is faulty because all numbers lie. Because they only tell a story. They only tell a story of the people who are the person who collects the data, right?
Yes.
So the numbers themselves aren't lying. It's the way that they are being used. So, you know, when they say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, that's fugazi. Numbers only tell the story of the person who's collecting the data, right? Because you have the subset to have the data collected, right? But anyway, I'm not going to get into how data is collected and all of that. I just wanted to say that these people did research. They came with numbers and facts, and that guided their ideas, right? And so that's why I didn't dismiss their ideas out of hand, because they came with a certain set of research that said what, you know, that guided their point of view. Now, again, I think some of these people are off their rocker. I think some of these people were absolutely out of their mind, but I still listened, right? Because again, when you're not just coming with BS and fugazi mess, it makes it easy. It makes it more palatable. And I didn't, you know, I'm an energy person. I didn't feel any malice or ill intent with the messages being delivered, right? I felt like the people who was delivering those messages weren't being facetious and trying to be deceitful and hurtful in the things that they were saying. I just think some of them were ill-informed.
Well, that's the thing, right? So there's a lot of things that I didn't agree with, specifically a lot of the NFT talk. There was a lot of NFT talk about the various ways it was being used. I don't agree with all of it. I agree with some of it, but I don't agree with all of it. But you're right? So, but everybody has the same energy that, you know, they're trying to put into the space, which I think is powerful, which is about bringing us together. One of the things I want to ask you about is the various ways that crypto is being studied or used, because we have people at the highest levels of government, talking about the federal government, state government, local government. We had people at the highest levels of business. Mike Novogratz, people know who he is.
People from storage, people from uphold a lot of different.
So the question I'm asking is, was there any way that you heard during the course of this conference that like was shocking to you, right? So I mean, we even had people who were working on the front lines in terms of like crime in the streets and working with the youth, and even they had a perspective on how to use the crypto space to kind of engage the youth. But pretty much every walk of life, there was someone from talking about various ways to use this technology. Did any of them shock you at all?
Not shock me, but open my eyes.
Okay.
Government way behind. And you could just hear it when they open their mouth. But the one office that is trying to get on track because they know how important this space is going to be, is the Patents and Trademarks Office.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was eye-opening. When they were talking about the number of crypto patents and trademarks that are coming through their desk. This space is about to go boom boom.
Yeah,
because people ain't patenting and trademarking for nothing. People are getting on the front end of this so that they can get paid forever. And then to hear Reggie Middleton talk about patents and trademarks and things that he went through with those patents and trademarks just brought that whole idea full circle. And so that right there was eye-opening for me. Everything else everybody else said, I pretty much heard. I was aware of it. And I've already studied most of it. But the patents and trademarks was very, very interesting to me.
Yeah. And I do want to tell our audience that may be listening or maybe watching this, if you don't know who Reggie Middleton is, do your Googles, right? Reggie Middleton, his work is just phenomenal. And we had a chance to talk and meet him. I was excited about that. But make sure you look him up because the brother has already been through some things. And also him telling his personal stories. I didn't know that part about him. That kind of added context to his overall story. So, yeah, that was definitely dope. But you're right about the Patent and Trademark Office. And they had a heavy presence and talked about NFTs and crypto in general and how it's affecting their work. So, I just wanted to really give feedback. I want to say again, congratulations to Sinclair. This was another crazy, amazing effort. Can't wait to be there next year. Also, shout out to our team, all of our team from the Black Wealth Project, Real Estate Tracy, Ivy Investor, Courtney, Kamari, the Finance Rebel. Yo, shout out to my brother Kamari, man. My brother Kamari is a legend because he went to a crypto conference and got on stage and said, "Yo, stop talking about buying crypto." So I thought that was pretty funny. But his overall point was, we need to start working at our base. Crypto is an actual tool. And he said that sometimes we jump into these tools at the top as opposed to just working on stuff like, how much debt we got or what's our credit. Like some of the things on the bottom, that was his overall point. But I thought it was funny for him to go to a crypto conference and jump on stage and say that. So all of our team got a chance to speak on stage, myself as well as Corey and the rest. So shout out to them. I can't wait to next year. Like I said, shout out to Deidre because, that was awesome as well. And
as a hostess, she did an amazing job of keeping the conversations moving.
Yeah,
it got pretty contentious sometimes.
No, absolutely. And also, the one person I do want to give a special shout out to is Talisha Shine, right? Because she's the one that made the connection. She plugged us in with them and said, "Yo, you got to get these brothers." Up on that stage. So I want to give her a special shout out. And we appreciate the love. So that's one of the things. That's why I always start every show off with love, because opportunities that we get sometimes just come from out of nowhere because we try to do right by people. So, we really appreciate our relationships. So before we get out of here, though, Cordo, I want to ask you, what is your biggest takeaway from the Black Blockchain Summit? If you can give me just your one biggest takeaway before we get out of here, what would you say that was?
Infrastructure is being built, and we need to get on the front side of that infrastructure and not be on the we want to be the hammer and not the nail.
Okay. And I guess my biggest takeaway is very similar to yours. My biggest takeaway is that when we talk about value, when we talk about money, and a lot of times when in a lot of these classes and things, we always talk about how the people give things value, right? If enough of us come together to say this has value, guess what? It has value, right? And I hear all these naysayers, but the fact that a conference like that can exist, and I've been to multiple crypto conferences, and there are thousands amongst thousands, and I've been to some that are our people and some that are just everybody. It's here to stay, right? There's so many things, and that's why I said it's along the same lines in terms of what's being built with infrastructure, what's being built is the payment rails, the products, the services, all surrounding the exchanges. This stuff isn't going anywhere. I know that, people are waiting for government regulation, but my biggest takeaway is study, 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 study. For those of us who have not already gotten involved in the space, This is not investment advice. I'm not telling you to go out and buy anything, but what I am telling you to do is pick up a book, read a website, go to a blog, watch a YouTube video, go study, and just see how this could affect your industry. Because again, when we talked about all the various industries that are being affected, you may think like, look, I don't care about that. You know, I work in this sector, whether it's healthcare. Healthcare is going to be affected. I work in law. Law is going to be affected. Real estate is going to be affected. Construction will be affected, right? Medicine is going to be affected. All these different sectors, like government business, will be affected. Just general government businesses will be affected. So if you don't do anything else, just study how it's coming into your space. Shout out to Talisha again, because she gave me a book recommendation, which I did finish. It's called The Business of Blockchain. And that's kind of what they talk about. It's the actual business. So how this will be incorporated into businesses. So that was my biggest takeaway. Things are being built. The value is there. And as a people, we need to make sure that we're studying and we're not being left behind. Like Corey said, we want to be the hammer and not the nail. Yo, I like that. Boom. There's a title for us, Corey. Be the hammer and not the nail. That was hard. All right, listen, pause. But with that being said, though, man, I just want to say to everybody out there, man, we appreciate it. This was a short episode, like we said. Let us know how you like us doing this, because this is our second time doing that. Every once in a while, we just want to bring you quick, short episodes where we talk about what we got going on here at By the Hood. Also, if you're interested in our camp next year, you can just join our mailing list at bythehoodcamp.com. We'll be in the community coming up. We got a couple different things we're working on in terms of teaching out here in Philadelphia in the community. If you're in a different city or state and you want to have us out, you can always reach us on any social media at By the Hood, or shoot us an email, bythehoodllc@gmail.com. Don't forget the LLC, bythehoodllc@gmail.com. Because, we will travel, come out. But with that being said, man, I just want to say thank you to everyone for all the support. Don't forget, every Friday, 7 p.m., we do a live that streams on Facebook as well as here on YouTube. And we do a Bitcoin giveaway every Friday. So we're doing our part to do what as they call orange pill folks and teach folks about the Bitcoin culture. So every Friday we give away Bitcoin and have been doing so for about 2 years now. So it's a weekly thing for us. And we've onboarded people and got them involved in the space. But man, listen, Courtney, last words we got here, bro?
Yeah, man, just, love each other enough to do the right thing by each other. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times what happens is, we say we like each other, we say we love each other, but then when it comes time to show it, that energy, it feels different. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm an energy being, and I felt actual genuine love for Black people and the space that we were talking about at that conference, and it's invigorating to feel that kind of love. So let's show that kind of love more often.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna end on those words right there, man. Listen, we'll see y'all next week, probably in our regular format. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get some of those videos we have with the guests that we've already recorded, and also we'll bring in guests that we met at the event. But as we always say, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll see y'all on our next episode. Peace.